CBS News Bay Area Afternoon Edition with Ann Mekovic.
Right now on the Afternoon Edition, we are tracking rain in parts of the Bay Area, timing it out for your afternoon and evening. Thanks for joining us this Monday. You might already be seeing some rain depending on where you live. Let's get over to meteorologist Jessica Birch for the very latest on this forecast. Now, we're not talking a washout.
We are not talking a washout by any means. In total, we could see close to around 1/100 of an inch of rain down in the South Bay, about 1/10 of an inch of rain all the way up into the North Bay as the system continues to move in from the north. But let's tilt the camera high. We're over in the Bay Area right now. I'm walking over the East Bay, and you could see those storms expected to continue to track mostly throughout the North Bay as we head into the afternoon hours today. We'll see light on and off showers in the forecast as we head into the next 24 hours, pushing its way down to the south. But here's what the satellite imagery is showing. This is visible, just showing that onshore flow, bringing in heavy clouds all throughout the Bay Area. We're gearing up for rain in the forecast today and tomorrow, and I want to show you just a little bit closer as we zoom into street level just what this storm is doing for us. The South Bay, not impacted just yet. It's just a cool, cloudy day so far, overcast, holding on tight to us. We have another band of showers right around the corner that's pushing into Point Arena right now, but I want to head over into wine country where it's harvest right now, and we are dealing with showers currently anywhere from Glen Ellen down to Sonoma, stretched over those hills all the way into the Napa Valley too. From St. Helena down into Napa, we're also dealing with some light rain there. A little bit wet just near 101 as we make our way close to Petaluma. These showers are expected to track south as we head into the next 24 hours. In total, like I said, not too impressive of a system, but it is worth noting all of us will see some splash of showers here and there. More on this coming up in a bit and how long it's going to last. For now, back to you.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jess. New at noon, San Francisco Giants manager Bob Melvin is out. The team fired him after they missed the playoffs for a fourth straight season. Melvin went 161-163 in his 2 years as Giant manager. No word yet on who will replace him or when. Now to a commute controversy. Highway 101 in the North Bay. Tens of thousands of people commute between Marin and Sonoma counties, and many of them rely on HOV lanes, which now have new hours. As our Dial In reports, drivers say the commute was fine until Caltrans threw in that roadblock.
It affected my commute by adding at least 30 minutes to my commute every morning.
More time stuck in traffic means less time with her 3-year-old son and family. Katie Clayton blames the longer commute on the expanded carpool lane hours on Highway 101.
It's frustrating, and people don't deserve to be sitting in traffic that was never there before. Why don't fix what's not broken.
The hairstylist drives from her Roner Park home to a salon in Novato. She says the new hours are forcing more solo drivers into the general lanes, slowing everyone down. Katie started a petition on change.org. As of Sunday afternoon, nearly 5,000 people have signed, and hundreds share their stories and frustrations on the website.
Cars sitting on the freeway, trucks sitting on the freeway, just wasting gas, putting more emissions into the atmosphere. That's the polar opposite of what they're claiming it's going to do.
Earlier this month, on September 8th, Caltrans extended the HOV hours. Now it's 5 to 10 in the morning and 3 to 7 in the evening in both Marin and Sonoma counties. Before, the rules were shorter and different in each county. In Sonoma, 7 to 9 a.m. and 3 to 6 p.m. both ways. In Marin, 6:30 to 8:30 a.m. southbound only, and 4:30 to 7 p.m. northbound only. Caltrans says the new schedule lines up with the rest of the Bay Area.
This is a big change, and Caltrans doesn't take it lightly. We're doing this to improve safety in the Bay Area.
Caltrans spokesman Vince Chacala says they consulted with other North Bay transportation agencies before making the switch. The expanded hours also coincide with the opening of new lanes between Novato and Petaluma, part of the Marin-Sonoma Narrows project.
Caltrans and the different agencies, we're going to take a look at that. We'll hear you very loudly. We're going to take a look at that, and the traffic engineer is going to take a look at the analysis, whatever time it takes, and then we'll decide.
Caltrans says reversing course would take time and careful study, but Katie says drivers aren't backing down.
I do not plan on giving up, and I don't think other people are going to give up. This has added hours to people's day.
Well, starting today, there will be more room on some BART trains. BART says trains on the yellow line will increase from 8 cars to 9, and they're going to run 4 8-car trains in the morning and evening peak hours on the blue, green, and red lines. BART just saw its best month for ridership since before the pandemic, but it's still just around 45% of its level for August of 2019. As the Oakland Unified School District faces a budget crisis, as many Bay Area school districts are, leaders are inviting community members now to weigh in. Tonight, they're hosting one of several meetings trying to get input before finalizing decisions. While kids celebrated 100 years at Crocker Highlands this weekend, district leaders face a much different mood. OUSD says it still needs to slash $90 million over the next 2 years or risk a county takeover. Parents say previous cuts already hurt programs like tutoring and sports, and they fear more cuts will only make things worse. The clock is ticking. District has to cut $10 million this year and 8 times that much next year.
We want the best for our children, so to see these cuts is really sad.
It's frustrating, but parents and after so many parents tune out, like they just turn off.
During COVID, the federal government gave us $280 million. Our particular district actually ramped up their spending and providing after-school services, mental health services as well, right? And that included hiring a lot of particular staff, right?
So they are holding a public Zoom session tonight from 5:30 to 8. For the first time in 3 years, the post office in Bolinas is open on Brighton Avenue. It shut down in 2022 over a lease dispute. And since then, people who live there have to pick up their mail in Stinson Beach instead. Now customers can go back to the Bolinas facility and present a photo ID and get new keys for P.O. boxes. This reopening coming just a few months before the holiday season. The Whole Foods in Cupertino is back open after a months-long closure tied to a vermin infestation. The Stevens Creek location was shut down in April for rodent and cockroach issues. Inspectors cleared the store earlier this month, and Whole Foods used the time to renovate inside and out. All right, we are following a developing story at the White House. President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have announced they have agreed to a plan to end the war in Gaza. But they still need Hamas to agree on that. Part of the plan includes an agreement from Arab and Muslim countries to help create a government in Gaza run by the Palestinian people.
The Arab countries are going to, and Muslim countries are going to be dealing with Hamas, and I believe they've already been there. I think they probably have an understanding, and they haven't maybe mentioned that, but I would imagine they do, otherwise they wouldn't have gone as far as they've gone. If they're unable to do so, then Israel would have the absolute right and actually our full backing.
So the plan includes an immediate ceasefire, the release of remaining hostages within 72 hours of Israel accepting the plan, and the governance of Gaza by Palestinians, not Hamas. It would also create a temporary board of peace led by President Trump. Trump says Israel would have the full backing of the U.S. if Hamas does not accept. To Capitol Hill now, where a government shutdown is looming. President Trump meeting with top congressional leaders today, but he has said a shutdown is, quote, likely. Nancy Cordes at the White House with the latest.
It's a rare high-level sit-down between President Trump and the leaders from both parties, with thousands of government jobs on the line.
If the president at this meeting is going to rant and just yell at Democrats and talk about all his alleged grievances and say this, that, and the other thing, we won't get anything done. But my hope is it'll be a serious negotiation.
Democrats are demanding concessions in exchange for their votes to fund the government through mid-November.
I just think it's shameful that they're playing politics with all the services that the American people demand and deserve.
What Democrats are pushing for is to extend enhanced Obamacare tax credits, which are set to expire at the end of this year. If they are not renewed, average premiums on the exchange would rise by an estimated 75%.
Notices are going to go out in a matter of days, and it's going to be a shock to the system of everyday Americans.
Republicans argue the subsidies are a separate matter that can be dealt with later.
Hopefully there'll be some steps taken that can address the concerns that Democrats have, but you can't do this by Tuesday.
If the government shuts down this week, non-essential services would cease and federal workers would be furloughed. Now, the White House is raising the stakes by threatening to lay off some of those workers.
If it has to shut down, it'll have to shut down, but they're the ones that are shutting down.
The FBI is investigating yesterday's deadly church shooting in Michigan as a possible targeted attack. Police say at least 5 people were killed and 8 more hurt yesterday morning after a gunman rammed a car into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, opened fire, and set the building on fire. About 100 worshipers were inside the church at the time. A former Marine was identified as the gunman. He died after exchanging gunfire with officers. And in North Carolina, 3 people were killed, 5 others injured in a mass shooting in Southport. This was on Saturday night. Police say a man pulled up to a dock on a boat and opened fire on a waterfront restaurant. That suspected shooter has been identified as a combat veteran with PTSD. He fled the scene, was later arrested by the Coast Guard at a public ramp. He is facing multiple charges, including 3 counts of first-degree murder. Still ahead here at noon and streaming on CBS News Bay Area, we are going to meet the Chicana artists collaborating with the Bay Area pro sports teams and global clothing brands as she's bringing her family's past into her pictures. And some breaking music news, the big names that just announced shows coming up in the Bay Area. Chicana artist Cecilia Perez is everywhere these days, and for the 2nd season, her artwork is featured in the Giants Artist Series, celebrating the intersection between sports, art, and our Bay Area culture. Cecilia shared with our Mary Lee why it's so important to represent her Chicano culture.
It's a hard time.
Even then, I wouldn't mind having another.
When you walk inside the San Francisco Giants dugout store, the first thing you see is Chicana artist Cecilia Perez's collection. Her artwork tells a story of San Francisco through the lens of a Chicana, through Cecilia's eyes. Her mission is to represent the Chicano culture she loves in the most positive way, and her work is resonating with fans. Her collection constantly sells out.
I have my first issued Giants merchandise. I have it as a little trophy up here.
I think what people love the most is the Chicano flavor that she's bringing in, and the colors and the bolds. It's all very much quintessential Bay Area culture. When you see it, you know it. She has an incredible fan base, and just seeing everything through Cecilia's perspective is just beautiful.
Cecilia's work is an expression of who she is, a proud second-generation Chicana. Her work brings a Chicana perspective to a culture that she says is often told through the male lens. Her work embraces both masculine and feminine energies with old-school custom lowriders, while also featuring Chicanas at the center of her artwork, ultimately uplifting the female voice. It's edgy, heartfelt, and authentically her own.
I'm very proud and I'm very unapologetic when it comes to being a Chicana artist. My artwork speaks for itself, and my background growing up speaks for itself as well. And so I have no qualms whatsoever in just being myself. These cars are in our car club called Sin Nombre Familia, and I incorporate our vehicles in a lot of my artworks.
This 53 Chevy is featured in Cecilia's collection for the San Francisco Giants Artist Series.
Lowriders, to me, are rolling pieces of artwork.
When she was first starting out, she says it was difficult, but giving up was never an option. For her, quitting meant giving up on her parents' hard work to give her a good life.
This painting right here is of my dad. I painted this right after he passed away. It was a means of artistic therapy for myself, so it really helped me cope with his loss.
Cecilia's father was an entrepreneur, journalist, musician, and activist who fought for Chicano representation in the United Farm Workers of America. Cesar Chavez himself asked Cecilia's dad and his band to perform at his father's funeral. Through Cecilia's artwork, she continues her father's legacy of activism.
Ultra proud. Cecilia's thought process and being able to encapsulate the Chicano lifestyle, has been prominent, of course, in her art, in large part due to our general upbringing.
Everything that I do is actually in his honor. The last really big milestone that I was able to achieve was him being able to see me throw the first pitch for the Giants last year. And so that was like a really big deal for me, and it felt like a movie ending.
Cecilia's artwork is a love letter to her family and community, celebrating Chicano style, strength, beauty, and resilience.
And you can catch our 30-minute special for Hispanic Heritage Month October 16th, 7:30 p.m. Levi Stadium hosting Super Bowl 60, of course, next year. And we now know that Bad Bunny is going to headline the Super Bowl halftime show.
Se acostó temprano, mañana hay que estudiar. Pero llamó a la amiga diciendo pa' janguear.
That's your low-key announcement. Bad Bunny just finished his residency in Puerto Rico and is promoting his recent album. Now, earlier this year, he said he's avoiding the U.S. on his world tour, concerned that ICE agents could conduct raids on fans at his concerts. Back to our first alert weather now. Taking a live look outside. It is a cloudy one around the Bay Area as we take a live look at Alcatraz. Let's check back in with meteorologist Jessica Birch.
Cloudy and a little wet already, and as we take a look outside, the showers are expected to continue track to the south as we head into the afternoon hours today. We're gearing up for rain. We're gearing up for cooler temperatures today as this cold front pushes throughout the Bay Area. I have it on loop right now just to show you where those storms are coming from. This cold front sweeps from the north to the south as we head into the next 24 hours, with it bringing in spotty showers and these cool temperatures. I mean, daytime highs today. Simon, don't mind zooming all the way to places like Napa and Vallejo. Check this out. Daytime highs up into the North Bay are cooler than places like San Francisco and Redwood City for that matter. As this cold front pushes through, it's influencing all of our microclimates throughout the Bay. I mean, we're holding on tight to below average temperatures, low 70s today in places like Livermore and Fremont, 70s stretched down into the Santa Clara Valley. Now, when it comes to these rainfall totals, you saw a little bit heavier showers up in the North Bay compared to some of us all the way down into the South Bay, because as that system tracks from the north to the south, it loses some of its energy. So we will continue to keep a close eye on these rainfall totals heading into the next couple of days. We head all the way into our Tuesday forecast. Here we go into the afternoon hours. Futurecast showing on and off spotty showers pushing in there. By Wednesday, we'll get the last of this energy. Potential more showers a little bit more south, closer to places like San Jose, along the coastline too, all the way down into Santa Cruz before we dry up into Thursday and Friday. But here's where we're at right now. That first alert Doppler I just showed you on the ground. I want to zoom in a little bit closer. Places like Point Arena getting that next batch of showers currently. You head over into St. Helena and Napa. Light showers currently throughout just those hills, all along places like Napa and Sonoma County. Now we head into the next 24 hours, the next 48 hours. We're gearing up for close to at least a quarter of an inch of rain, all the way over into places like San Rafael. Less impressive numbers the more south we go into the valleys like like the Santa Clara Valley, for example. So daytime highs in our inland areas, thanks to these cold fronts, are staying below average. That means low 70s for the rest of this week until Thursday and Friday when we start to warm up. We'll see sunnier skies into this weekend, right back to average by next week. Back to you.
The 49ers lived on the edge during their strong start to the season, but mistakes caught up with them yesterday. Matt Lively has a recap from Levi's.
This is the Audi Red and Gold Report.
The 72 Dolphins have nothing to worry about. The 49ers are no longer perfect. 4 turnovers prevented them from going 4-0 as the Jacksonville Jaguars came in here to Levi's Stadium and upset the Niners.
We lost today. Yeah, we didn't play good enough. We made a bunch of mistakes.
This one would have been a good one to get, but Fred kind of said at the end, you can't expect to win with 4 turnovers.
It doesn't take a genius to see why the 49ers lost this game. 4 giveaways turned into 17 Jacksonville points.
It starts with me, throwing better balls and being smart with the ball, and I just got to be better. So I was mad over everything. The opportunity we had right there to get back in the game, what we had done all day for myself, with the ball. So just frustrated in the moment.
For the Red and Gold Report, I'm Matt Lively.
All right, remember, we are streaming 24/7 on the free CBS News app. Stay dry today.